Hello, beautiful ones. I hope you're all having a wonderful now, wherever you are. I just made a whole video, thought I was recording, but I wasn't. So hello again. I wanted to share a little bit about the energies and what's going on right now with the planet and with the collective. As a lot of you feel, there's an uptick or like a upshift. There's something going on that's increasing the frequency in a lot of humans, and as the humans go through a collective consciousness change, so is the planet. So we're all going through it. The animals are feeling it. I've been noticing my animals acting a bit strange and so I know that they're feeling it like we are, and so some of the symptoms that I've been hearing and that I've been experiencing myself, last week was a lot of like headaches, but this past few days it's been more like stomach upset, feeling nauseous, still feeling a little bit of pain in the head, but it's that we are being restructured and we're being reworked. And so a lot of what we were storing, energies that we were storing, are now being released, and then new ones are coming in to replace those. And so the symptoms that we are experiencing are being experienced by the collective and by the planet, since we are connected and actually one. So we're all feeling this to a certain extent, and some people may not be able to feel it as much. Some people that maybe feel like they're not experiencing anything, they'll look back later on and they'll realize what was actually going on. And the thing is that there is so much going on with the planet and with the human body right now, and it can be stressful. It can be extra stressful for the body. So that's why I encourage everyone, like I always do, to go out in nature, to make sure you eat clean foods, you drink clean water, and that you get moving, that you do things that uplift you. So each individual has like their own thing that they like to do, whether again, it'd be dancing, it'd be writing, whatever you need to do to help yourself. This is definitely the time to take extra good care of yourself. I've been practicing the Wim Hof breathing technique, and it's so amazing. I highly recommend it to anyone who's wanting to try or start a practice like that, or even just try it out just to see how it feels. So Wim Hof breathing technique is really amazing. If there's different things that you can do: chanting, dancing, singing, whatever it is that you can do right now to support your body. And I always say to check in with your body, and you can do that by just feeling. You have energy centers that run down the middle of your body, so you can always check in and feel how does your throat feel, how does your heart feel, how does your abdomen feel. Sometimes you can even feel it on your feet. So you can check in with your body and see how you're feeling, if you're feeling tight, if you're feeling relaxed. And what I do is I check in with my body, and if I'm feeling a certain way, like if I'm feeling like, let's say my stomach's feeling like it's in a knot, I'll actually put my hand on it and I'll actually talk to it and ask my stomach and ask my body, hey, what's going on? What can I do to help you? And it's interesting because the things will come to you sometimes as little inspirations, sometimes as just knowing. It's like, oh, maybe I need to do this. For me, it's like I'll wake up and if I'm feeling a little bit off, I'll walk by my piano and I'll get a message, go play the piano, and I know that that's gonna like uplift me and wake me up. So feel free to do whatever it is that you need to do right now to get through this time. Realize that this is a collective change that we are going through. The earth itself is also upshifting, up leveling, returning to a state that she was actually always meant to be in, and so we are a part of that. We are a part of that consciousness. So we ourselves are individually and collectively going through this ascension awakening process. And like I said, for a lot of us, we may not even realize it until a little bit later that this was happening all along, and that everything that was happening to us at this time was actually for our benefit and was actually helping us to move us further along on our path. And so I encourage you all to continue forward, continue to do the things that work for you, and look for new innovative ways to soothe yourself whenever you're needing that, to take care of yourself. Whether it means you go for a run, whether it means you know, you need to go and exercise, or you need to go and lay down, or you know, or you need to go in and watch something really funny. I find that to be like one of the best remedies. I'll watch like really like simple like things that are just like funny, you know, animals, or just, you know, things that I like. And I find that that's just uplifting. Like the laughing out loud, to me, is such a healing thing. It works your heart, it works your body. So I definitely recommend laughing, crying. If you need to cry, by the way, please do not feel like it's a sign of weakness. Do not feel like there's anything wrong with crying. I know a lot of times men are told, like, you know, not to cry from when they're little, but that's bullshit. Like, everybody cries, you know, and you have the right to cry. And crying releases like a lot of feel-good hormones. It releases a lot of stress hormones. So definitely cry it out when you need to, you know, let it out. A lot of the times people have never cried, and then when they finally cry, it's just like rivers. But they don't realize the magic that is happening as they are releasing, as they are crying, what is actually doing for them. And so if you need to cry it out, cry it out. Nothing wrong with that. Of course, if you're crying for too long, you might want to seek some help, because, you know, if you're like nonstop crying for days, you know, you might have something else going on. But yeah. So helping with the energies, finding a way to kind of maneuver them, work around them. Also, it's gonna. I'm kind of hesitant to say, but it's gonna get more intense. But I feel like for those of us that are grounded and that are doing our work and that have our practices, it's gonna be a little bit easier than for those who are just kind of haphazardly going through it. Again, I always remind you guys to ask for help. Ask for help. None of us are here alone, and none of us were meant to do this by ourselves. Please do not hesitate to ask for help. There are unlimited beings that are here that are more than happy to assist you. As a matter of fact, there are beings that are helping out right now, and they're not beings that are here to save us. You know, that's one of the things that's really important to realize, that they're not here to save us. We have to save ourselves. They may be able to help us, just like there's beings, like I talked about in the last video, starseeds, that have incarnated here to assist, but we become part of that collective, and then we do the work from the inside out. So we assist the collective by doing our work and transforming ourselves, and by transforming ourselves, we help transform the consciousness, the collective that we're participating in. And so it's very important for us to do our inner work during this time, for us to focus on what we can do to heal, to be as relaxed as possible, to be in a state of joy as much as possible. There's nothing wrong with having moments when you're feeling down. And when you're feeling down, it's not about trying to reject that. And I've talked about that too. It's not about rejecting what you're feeling. It's about embracing and accepting and being there for yourself, because a lot of us have not been there for ourselves. We've done everything but be there for ourselves. And now when we're going through the suffering and we need any sort of support, whether, you know, we're angry or whatever we're feeling, it's important for us to be there for ourselves. You know, like I've said, we are our own best friends, but also realize that you have something deeper and wiser and compassionate inside of you, that is what you are truly, that is also able and willing to help you, especially if you're asking with an open heart and you know, being honest, you know, and you're asking for help. You will definitely get that help, and it may not come to you necessarily in the way that you envisioned it, but it will come to you. You are always heard. You are never alone. You are always worthy. You are so loved. Again, I have faith in humanity. I know that we can do this. I know that we are going to make it through this, but realize that right now we're doing this together. We're not alone, and we are ascending all together. You know, like I've said, we fell in a way, and now we're rising back up, but we're rising back up in unity to create something new. And what we are creating is far better than anything that we can imagine. It's brand new in a lot of ways, and it is something that it already exists. We're just we're like creating and aligning to it at the same time. It's difficult to describe when you're looking at it from a linear point of view, how something can exist and at the same time you're creating it. But it is, and no one's gonna sit here and tell you the future. They can't really do that because we are creating it as we go along, and the possibilities are infinite. Now we can like tune into a timeline and say, oh well, this is probably most likely gonna happen, right? What we do know is that we are moving ahead as we need to. The planet and the whole human collective is going through an ascension process, meaning that we are evolving into a higher plane of existence, into a higher consciousness. And I can tell you from my experience, I feel like I have shifted so much in the past, just even the past like 3 days. I feel like I'm in a new reality. I feel like I feel so much joy, so much love, so much gratitude. I feel so connected. This is a kind of a funny story. I have a form that has wings, and I was able to, I had kept them hidden because I felt like I had to hide, because at some level I knew that even though maybe they weren't visible in my human form, we're all spirit. And so at some point I was going to be seen, and I was kind of like afraid for that. And it represented a lot more than just being visible or having them be visible. But I allowed them to extend, and just I physically felt it in my body. It felt like something was like shifting in my back, and they sprouted. And I just felt so much joy, and just felt so good to have my wings back again. As crazy as that sounds, I've missed it. So it's nice. And that's gonna start to happen as we start to merge with our multi-dimensional self, with our whole self. We'll start to pick up attributes that our soul has learned along the way, and so we'll start to pick up little things here and there. Another thing that's happened recently that's new, that I'd never done, and I was just kind of guided to do it, was to do a type of healing that actually started from when I was conceived, from when I was an embryo. And what I did is, and I'm probably gonna start doing that for people, but I'm still, this is all brand new. So what I did was that I healed the embryo, and I went back, he said you went back in time, healed the embryo, and then moved that healing all the way forward. So healed, I could feel in the womb, I could feel that I was feeling everything that my mother and my father were feeling. So I did a healing on their line, on my line, and just to kind of soothe the suffering that was going on just a little bit, even if it was 5%, just enough to just kind of take the edge off, make it a little bit easier for them. And so I went and I followed that all the way up until now. So I had that timeline, or if you want to call it a timeline, I had that part of my life during that time get the healing, and then it extended all the way forward until now, including removing or adjusting certain things that I had grown up with that were a result of the things that happened to me in utero. So that's really cool. I think that new modalities are going to start to open up, and I'm not here to sell you guys anything. I'm not here to make money off of anyone or anything like that. So I don't advertise my stuff. And as a matter of fact, I do healings as people ask me for them. Or if I'm around someone and I get kind of called to do it. And I've been doing it for a while. I started off when I was young. I started off with doing water. I would heal water. And I say young, but I was probably in my 20s, early 20s. I started to work with water and animals. I didn't want to touch humans for whatever reason, so I would only stick with animals and water. And I would help with the water. I would communicate with it, and I would do healing on it. And then I got trained in doing energy healing, and then I got quantum healing training too. And so I've been a lot of the things that I know, they just kind of come. I haven't been trained on them. I've never had a guru. I've never had therapy like that. It's just experience in life has just taught me. And also, the fact that I'm connected to, all of us, to many other beings that have a vast array of knowledge that we have access to also with practice. So a lot of that has come from that. So saying all that, if either anyone is listening is needing some healing, it's not a business for me, so I do it for now, and feel free to reach out to me. There's other healers out there. There's even a lot of self-healing that you can do with yourself, and that's why I'm saying I didn't go to like a therapist or anything like that. I just worked on myself. I worked on myself, and I tried different things, but all of us are different, and some of us may need like, regular therapy. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's the great thing. We're all different. We're all different, even though we're all come from the same source. We're still all very unique individual particles, and so one may need something different than the other, and there doesn't mean that one person is doing something wrong and the other person is doing something right. It's just different ways. I mean, why would we all want to be, have the exact same thing and not have that variation that we have, and we do. So saying all that, please take care of yourself. There's a lot of joy that's coming in energetically. There's a lot of lightness that is coming in, but it depends on where you are, because there's also a lot of release. There's a lot of purging from the collective. There's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of old ancient things coming up that we haven't dealt with in a really long time, and so you can also be prepared for that, again, by making sure that you take care of yourself, making sure that you take the steps that you need that are going to help you. So take care of yourself, you guys. I love you. Be blessed. Bye-bye.